Glutaraldehyde is a fixative used in histological procedures. Glutaraldehyde is an additive fixative, meaning it combines with the tissue and part or all of the fixative becomes part of the tissue. It is a non-coagulant, indicating it forms extensive cross-links, producing a gel with low permeability. This is common with additive fixatives. Glutaraldehyde is a dialdehyde. Glutaraldehyde fixes and preserves proteins. It does not fix carbohydrates but will fix any mucins that are bound to them. It also does not fix lipids but may fix the protein part of lipoproteins. Glutaraldehyde is excellent at preserving morphology. Glutaraldehyde has an aldehyde group on each end of the structure. During cross-linking, one of the aldehydes is used to bind with proteins while the aldehyde on the other end is left exposed. Due to this, dialdehydes cannot be used as a fixative for any tissue that will be stained with a procedure using a Schiff reagent. Schiff reagent binds to aldehydes. Given the exposed aldehyde of glutaraldehyde, it will lead to false positives from the staining procedure. Glutaraldehyde fixes at the same rate that it penetrates. Both are done slowly and poorly. In a large piece of tissue, it can be difficult for the fixative to get past the fixed part of the tissue and into the center of the tissue. It can leave the center with some decay and fixed poorly. To combat this, the grossing sections need to be cut thin. Glutaraldehyde is most frequently used as a fixative for tissues that will be undergoing electron microscopy. It is the most well known for electron microscopy because it preserves ultrastructure better than any of the other aldehydes. Glutaraldehyde can be used for light microscopy, but it is not recommended. When used for electron microscopy, glutaraldehyde needs to be stored in small vials sealed under inert nitrogen. For light microscopy, those same vials need to be stored in the refrigerator until used. Glutaraldehyde is a very unstable substance that breaks down on exposure to oxygen. This breakdown will cause the pH to drop below the range recommended for proper use. This means the glutaraldehyde solution will need to be made just before use to allow for expected results. Glutaraldehyde tends to overharden tissue. To avoid this, when the tissue is being used for electron microscopy, the fixation time should be kept to 2 hours or less. When the tissue is being used for light microscopy, the fixation time should be kept between 2 to 4 hours. After fixation, the wet tissue should be transferred to a buffer solution until the processing procedure begins.